Hey my Shira Mamas, this is Lyssah with Mama Wears Many Hats, and I'm gonna give you a tour of my new to me van today. Hey everybody, if this is your first time here, welcome to my little corner of the interwebs. My name is Lyssah and this is Mama Wears Many Hats, where we talk all things mom and motherhood and basically encourage and empower each other to go and birth beauty into every arena of our lives. That being said, I know I didn't post on Tuesday and now it's Thursday, so I'm not posting tomorrow. I'm putting this one up instead as kind of an update, but we will be back next week on our regularly scheduled video schedule, same bat time, same bat channel. Anyway, if you probably aren't, because there's not a whole lot of people who watch this channel, but if you're wondering, hey, where is that girl? What's been going on? Last week and the end of the week before that were crazy. My van literally died on me as I was driving up a hill down a 2-lane road with no shoulder. And I sat there with my 3 kids in the car waiting for 2 hours for a tow truck. Yay. Anyway, that being the case, I had some other videos in the funnel, and obviously I was getting ready for Mother's Day and all that kind of stuff, and then I just haven't had time to film anything else. So that being said, I did want to update you, and I thought it'd be fun to do a little tour. I was going to try and do this live, but apparently I am not cool enough to stream live from my phone. I can do it from my computer, but not from my phone. So I'm just doing a quick video and I'll show you. Anyway, that being said, we have laid our precious Walter to rest. I will pop back in here towards the end with the story of how we got Walter. You won't want to miss that, because let's just say this. It involves kind of like an undercover boss scenario, and it was free and nice, and may have involved a giant curtain drop from the ceiling. You won't want to miss that. So make sure you stay tuned to the end to hear how we got Walter and why it is so sad that we're laying him to rest. That being said, let's go meet the unnamed new van. Had to recalibrate from a second. I heard this little guy starting to fuss, so he's gonna come with us and do the tour too. Right, Milo? He actually was there when we went and bought it, and he did amazing. Didn't make a peep. Had a blowout diaper, but didn't make a peep. All right, here is our new to us van. I know, during the middle of the pandemic, but we took precautions and we got it. And this van is such an upgrade. Our last van was a 2011 Toyota Sienna, which we were super excited for. But this one has some of the bells and whistles that I'm not gonna lie, they're making my day. All right, so we're gonna come and get in here for a second. Here we are. This is our super pretty, super clean new van. I'm gonna turn this on so I can give you the good tour here. All right. So we've got all the bells and whistles here. We have a navigation. Well, it's not really a navigation system, but we do have a DVD player in here that the kids are loving. It is amazing. And FYI, smells so good. So yeah, so there's this. Now, right now, these are my very favorite. Oh, let me focus them in. These guys are my very favorite things. We have the automatic door open. We have the automatic trunk open and close. I never have to get out to shut a door that didn't shut all the way again, guys. Oh, is it just me? Is it amazing? So here's my pretty steering wheel. So you can see it's black leather. Here we have the center console. We have drink holders for days. Let me see if I can do this. Sorry, because I'm holding Milo with the other hand. So it's cool. This slides open, right? So we got nice little storage. I've been keeping my purse in there. But then it slides back and we end up with drink holders for the middle seats. It's pretty cool, right? There's that. I probably don't need to show you guys how the windows or the doors work, but I'm gonna, because I'm super excited. Oh, opened up. Oh, closing up. I hope this is actually getting it. You can get the trunk back there. Opening the trunk. Love it. Closing the trunk. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. So, like I said, it's my pretty van. You can see we've got the car seats back in there already. We've got the middle seat down here folded up just because of getting Evie in and out. Right up here. This is the DVD that the kids can watch. They watched Storks yesterday while we went to show the grandparents the new car, and they love it. They're like, can we watch another movie? Milo here loves his, loved it as well. It's all nice and chill. All right, so another one of my favorite features is actually right back here. The door, you can see, has these built-in sun guards, which are great when you have kids, especially when they do not like the sun in their face. So I'm considering that a win for sure. Additionally, it actually has towards the back this amazing power outlet that you could actually plug in like a regular phone to, or not a regular phone, a regular power cord to, like a plug, and charge your laptop or something like that. You can plug in stuff for games back there, like, you know, video games or anything. Like, seriously, if we go on road trips, this car is going to be phenomenal. Like I mentioned, it has Bluetooth, it has aux, it has all that fun stuff, and so I'm pretty excited about this new van. If you have any ideas of what we should name it, let me know in the comments. How many of you guys know you are definitely a mom when getting a new minivan or a new to you minivan is like the most exciting thing ever, right? Right, it is. Is it exciting? Gotta get this boy to nap, and then I'll come back and tell you the story. This guy's ready for a nap, aren't you, boo? Are you ready for a nap, bubs? Yeah, it's nap time. Let's go back inside and have a nap. So I figured where better to tell my van story than in the new van. So a lot of you don't know, I used to work before I went to be a virtual assistant, came home to be able to be with my kids and work from home. I worked for Dave Ramsey. That's right, the Dave Ramsey. Mr. Better Than I Deserve, Mr. No credit cards, no debt, no, like, I mean, and let me just say, it was a great place to work. I really enjoyed it, and had I been able to work remotely or work part-time, I probably would have stayed there even after having my kids. It was a great environment. I really, I used to work for an amazing guy named Jim. He and his family were so awesome. Like, I love them to this day. Anyway, that being said, while we were there, we were trying to be really diligent to pay off our debt, do different things like that. And so we were driving what we referred to as our Dave car. If anyone has listened to Dave, you know that he talks about basically driving used cars into the ground. So we had my husband's 2010, I think, I don't even know, it might have been like 2005, Chrysler Sebring. And we had been driving it. He had had it before we got married. I had a Nissan Versa that I had financed before I'd kind of gotten turned on to Dave Ramsey's stuff. And yeah, we gotten that paid off. He was driving that because he had a further commute, and I was driving our Sebring. And let me just say, this Sebring, it was a Dave car, like literally by definition. The bumper was being held on by bungee cords. Not even kidding. AC didn't work. Like, you had to drive with the windows down. Like, the heat didn't really work. It was just, So fast forward, and I am pregnant with our first child, with Caden. And we were getting up close to the Christmas party, which if you don't live near Nashville, if you don't know about the culture of Ramsey Solutions, the Christmas party is a big deal. It's a really big deal, and rightly so. Like, everything from marching bands to a chef who's worked in the White House. Like, it is, like, Dave is all about being economic and being frugal, but then he's also about investing in people. And so every year the Christmas party is something that everyone looks forward to, and he always finds ways to go above and beyond and bless his company. And so, like, first year we were there, we got $1,000 Best Buy gift card, and we got to go into the store before it opened. We got a Target gift card another year. Like, it was just, and again for about $1,000. Like, and that was like our Christmas gift / bonus, and it was amazing. And there was always really good food. So anyway, so this year we're all at the Music City Center, which is a really big venue, because again, when you have 600 staff members and their spouses and guests, it ends up being easily over 1,000 people. And they're getting all set up, they're doing it, and they start doing this thing where they'd show this video, and it would be someone in the company talking about somebody else and how awesome they were. There was this family that was in the middle of adopting a special needs child from Romania. There was this other family who had been working super, super hard to pay down like a lot of debt and had been taking care of their mom who was terminally ill, and like all these different things. And so someone would share their story, and then they'd pulled them up, and like one couple, their child had a lot of medical issues, and they ended up paying paying off their medical bills. The couple that was adopting from Romania, they were coming up on a deadline and they needed a certain amount of money, and they gave them a check for the money, and it was all kind of like rounding out to about $15,000. Like, it was a decent little investment. They sent the family with the terminal mom on a Disney cruise. Like, they were just going above and beyond, and it was so great. So we've come through the night. It's awesome. We found out what our gift was, our $1,000 gift card to Target. It's great. And they're like, can we do one more video? Because there would be like a video like explaining the situation and everything. And the person who pops up on the video is my boss, my leader, who I was his assistant, Jim. I mentioned him earlier. And I'm like, oh my gosh, one of the people on our team is getting something. I was so stoked. I'm like thinking, okay, could it be Nathan? Could it be Doug? Who could it be? Like, I'm trying to figure it out. And all of a sudden, Jim starts talking, and I'm like, wait a second. And then it flashes over to Tanya, who was our CIO's assistant, who I reported to as well. And she starts talking on, they're talking about me, and they're talking about how we're youth pastors and we're doing all this stuff, and I'm driving this crappy car, which at the moment, I'll see if I can find a picture. I'm like 9 months pregnant. Okay, Caden was born on January 7th, and this was December 12th, I think. So I'm like hugely pregnant as this is happening, and hugely pregnant driving the really crappy car. So anyway, so they're telling this story, and then they're like, and when we asked her what kind of car they wanted, because they had enlisted Gretchen, who was another admin I worked with, to try and figure out what kind of car I would want. And so she was like, we're thinking about updating our vehicle. What kind of cars would you guys like? Like, she was asking us all of this admins. And I'm like, I'm weird. I would want a van, even though we're just having our first kid, because we drive with our youth group and we end up renting vans, and it would just be so great to not have to do that. I would love to have a minivan. I'm bizarre like that. So they call me and my husband up on stage, and we're like, and they're talking about it, and I'm like, and I can't tell you how many people afterwards came up and were like, I thought you were going into labor right then. I thought you were going into labor. And I'm like, me too. So they bring us up, and they're talking to us, and they're like, thank you for all your hard work. And they're like, here, we want to give you some money for like gas for when you are taking your youth group. And then they're like, oh, and we want to give you this. And they're like, look over here. And we looked over, and there's this big like curtain hanging up, and it drops, and there is this shiny 2011 Toyota Sienna. And it was great. It was like, I'm like crying, like Cam's crying, like it was amazing. I think I have a video, and so if I do, I'll insert it right here. And yeah, and they gave it to us. They ended up giving us a little like extra money to be able to cover the taxes on it and all that kind of stuff, which is really sweet of them. They gave us like $2,000 for gas. Like, again, it was all kind of adding up to about $15,000 And so it was just phenomenal because we had been like trying to figure out like how we were going to, we knew the Sebring wasn't going to work. We knew we needed a safer car for Caden. We'd been seeing like, could we scrape together a couple $100, $1,500 to be able to just buy an inexpensive but more reliable car. And so to be blessed with this minivan, like it was our God story. And so we ended up asking our youth group what they wanted to name the van. And they said they wanted to name it Walter because it reminded them of altar, and it was kind of like an altar of God's faithfulness in our, like an altar to God's faithfulness in our life. So it was Walter the van. He took us to Ohio. He took us to rafting. He took our youth group all over the place. Like this car, like let's just put it this way. We got it in 2015, December of 2015. It is now, he died, God rest his soul, in April of 2020. So we had him for about 4.5 years, and when we got him, he had about 140,000 miles on it, and he definitely had over 200,000 miles. So he gave up the ghost. He did a good job. We loved him, and we will miss Walter. We will miss him very much. So that is how we got our van, and that's why this is such an emotional thing for us to get a new one. And we're so grateful because as much as we love Walter, this is definitely an upgrade now with 3 kids, having the remote doors, having the remote tail thing back there, having just some of these amenities that will make for traveling really great. Because for those of you who don't know, I'm actually on staff at our church. My husband and I do the children's area, birth through kindergarten. And but we live like 45-50 minutes away from our church, so we spend a lot of time in the car, and my kids spend a lot of time in the car when we're not locked down and on quarantine. And we know that's going to happen someday. We're going to get back to normal life, and we're going to be back to driving a couple times a week that distance, and it'll just be nice to have a comfortable vehicle to do that in, to be able to take family trips again, and all that kind of stuff. So that's my story. Thank you for staying for Storytime with Lyssah. Thank you for watching my van tour. Thank you for stopping by. If you think that this is an area, like a place where you could be yourself and you could be connected, please make sure to like and subscribe. We want to have you here. Let me know, mamas, what your dream car is. Am I weird in loving a minivan? Or is that kind of normal once you have lots of kids? I don't know. Anyway, that's it. I hope you guys are doing awesome during this quarantine. Make sure to come back next week. I'm really excited about the videos I will be uploading. I'm going to be talking about mindset as a mama and just some different ways that I've experienced some hope and some peace. Got some really great phrases to walk yourself through. And then also we're going to be talking how to practice self-care when you don't have time. Because I don't know about you guys, I get a little tired seeing all these people who are like, oh, my self-care Sunday, and I'm gonna sit in my bubble bath all day and read my books and get my nails done and all this stuff. And I'm like, I just want to poop without an audience. Like, that's kind of my self-care. Anyway, I've really been processing through a lot of that lately, and what self-care when you don't have a lot of margin looks like. So I want to invite you back on Tuesday. We're going to be talking about that on Tuesday. All right, mamas, you're awesome. You're my sheroes. Make sure, just keep being you. That's it. All right, bye.